Northwest has been plunged into uncertainty, casting doubt on its future role as a hub for innovation and employment. Employees who once celebrated the company's rapid growth are now faced with the viability of a trade policy that prioritizes short-term political gains over long-term economic partnerships. Critics of the tariffs claim that they have alienated key allies and given ground to rival economic blocs eager to fill the void left by the withdrawal of American influence. From an international standpoint, the arrival of Amazon's leadership and significant operations is a major coup for the host country. The move communicates to other multinational corporations that there are viable alternatives to operating in the United States. Governments seeking to attract foreign direct investment will step up efforts to create enticing incentive packages, streamline regulatory processes, and highlight their own stable trade relationships. In effect, Amazon's relocation may usher in a new era of competition among nations vying to host global corporations' headquarters, with each offering its own set of financial incentives, talent pools, and infrastructure benefits as the practicalities of relocation begin. Amazon's logistical network faces one of its most severe tests yet. The company's well-known fulfillment and distribution system, which is praised for its speed and efficiency, must be redesigned to align with new import-export channels. Warehouses will be reproposed, shipping lanes rearranged, and partnerships renegotiated for employees stationed in overseas facilities. The announcement has sparked excitement and palpable anticipation. New hires queue for training programs, local vendors prepare to expand capacity, and regional governments roll out the red carpet to welcome the influx. However, the transition must be handled with surgical precision to avoid disruptions that could harm the brand's reputation for dependability. Internally, the company culture is being managed with care. Amazon takes pride in a set of leadership principles that have helped it grow from a startup to a trillion-dollar company. Maintaining employee morale during such a seismic shift is no easy task, but town halls, Q&A sessions, and personalized outreach can help ensure that everyone feels informed and valued. At the same time, teams are encouraged to seize the opportunity for growth and innovation that a new environment provides. Cross-cultural training programs are being implemented to foster mutual understanding among international employees, while remote work policies are being developed to accommodate employees who prefer to remain in the United States. The rest of the business world is paying close attention as Amazon follows through on its plan for a seamless transition. For suppliers of everything from electronics to apparel, realigning order flows presents both challenges and opportunities. Some will benefit from streamlined access to emerging markets, while others will face the logistical challenges of redirecting shipments. Consulting firms and trade experts are inundated with requests to assist businesses in adapting to the changing landscape, providing guidance on tariff mitigation strategies, alternative sourcing, and compliance frameworks. The financial markets have reacted similarly to the news. Amazon's stock price, which initially fluctuated as investors digested the implications of the move, stabilized as more information about the company's plans for a phased relocation became available. Analysts have adjusted their models to account for potential tax benefits, operational efficiencies, and long-term growth prospects in the new host country. While some critics warn of reputational damage and the risk of alienating U.S. consumers, leading market observers agree that Amazon's decisive action strengthens resilience and adaptability. The human aspect of this story cannot be overstated. Thousands of employees, many of whom have spent years advancing their careers in the United States, are now faced with life-altering choices. Some will choose to relocate with the company, enticed by generous relocation packages and the prospect of a new beginning. Others will choose to remain and pursue new opportunities closer to home. Support programs have been implemented to help with visa applications, housing searches, and cultural adjustment. Career counseling services are available to those who choose to stay behind, ensuring that their skills remain in demand in the local job market. As word of the relocation spreads through international media, it sparks a broader discussion about the changing nature of corporate citizenship. In an era when national borders can no longer contain global corporations' ambitions, leaders are reconsidering the traditional contract between businesses and the societies in which they operate. Amazon's move calls into question the notion that a single headquarters is inextricably linked to corporate success. It prompts a rethinking of how businesses assess their responsibilities to stakeholders, ranging from employees and customers to governments and communities in which they operate. The timing of the announcement following a presidential election that surprised many observers emphasizes the interplay between politics and commerce. It demonstrates how quickly corporate strategies can be disrupted by changes in the political climate. Boardrooms around the world are taking note, reassessing risk matrices and contingency plans to ensure they are ready for unexpected regulatory shifts. For governments, the lesson is obvious. Cultivating a favorable business environment necessitates consistency and foresight, or they risk alienating key contributors to economic growth. Amazon's expansion into a new jurisdiction is likely to pave the way for new innovations. Without some of the constraints imposed by the tariff regime, the company can invest in advanced logistics technologies, R&D initiatives, and partnerships that were previously hampered by cost considerations. The new headquarters is expected to become a global center of excellence, recruiting talent from across continents and encouraging cross-pollination among diverse teams. Even as Amazon begins this new chapter, the story remains unfinished. The relocation will take months, if not years, as the company balances its commitments to current customers and employees with the need to chart a sustainable path forward. Governments in Washington will have to deal with the political fallout of what many will interpret as a rebuke of domestic policy. Trade alliances may be reshaped as countries adapt to the changing landscape of American corporate presence, and the global economy will continue to adapt, seeking new equilibrium following one of the decade's most consequential corporate decisions. From the perspective of global supply chains, Amazon's decision to move away from the United States represents a seismic shift. Companies that previously relied on distribution centers in the United States must rethink their logistics strategies. The transition to new fulfillment hubs in Europe, Asia, or other rapidly developing markets is more than just redirecting shipping lanes. It necessitates a complete overhaul of inventory management, demand forecasting, and last-mile delivery networks. Following the announcement, software engineers and operations researchers are working to improve the algorithms that underpin Amazon's well-known inventory optimization systems, taking into account longer lead times and diverse regulatory environments. Traditional models based on the predictability of U.S. domestic freight must now account for a mosaic of border inspections, customs procedures, and fluctuating import duties imposed by various national authorities. Simultaneously, Amazon's vendor ecosystem is venturing into unknown territory. Thousands of small and medium-sized businesses, which used to benefit from the ease of shipping products into a single tariff-protected market, now face layered cost structures. Those who manufacture goods in Southeast Asia may find it more cost-effective to route products through the company's new logistical nerve center rather than through U.S. ports. This shift prompts a rethinking of manufacturing footprints. Some vendors may prefer to relocate production closer to Amazon's new operations, while others look into nearshoring options in neighboring regions to reduce transit times. Supply chain finance strategies will also need to evolve as letters of credit and trade financing instruments are redesigned to accommodate different banking systems and exchange rate hedging requirements. On the digital front, Amazon's data infrastructure is about to undergo transformation. The company's cloud computing arm, which had massive data centers in the United States, is now considering expanding into new markets. Establishing secure, high-capacity data hubs near emerging customer bases is critical not only for maintaining performance standards, but also for complying with data sovereignty laws, which differ dramatically across jurisdictions. Data scientists and security architects work together to ensure that customer information such as purchase histories and payment credentials is protected under a network of international privacy regulations. The transition necessitates strong encryption protocols, localized backup strategies, and the negotiation of cross-border data transfer agreements that are compliant with corporate policy and host country legislation. Retail partners and brick-and-mortar affiliates are also at an inflection point. For years, companies in industries such as groceries, apparel, and consumer electronics have used Amazon's U.S.-centric distribution network to provide fast delivery services. Collaboration programs such as Ship From Store and Amazon Go must now adapt to a more diverse geospatial framework. Retailers with national footprints in the countries hosting Amazon's new headquarters can expect deeper integration with the platform, whereas those focused primarily on the U.S. market must seek alternative partnerships or develop in-house logistics capabilities. This dynamic may encourage the rise of regional e-commerce champions as local players step forward to fill gaps in the American ecosystem. The financial architecture that underpins Amazon's global operations will also undergo significant revision. Corporate treasurers must reconsider foreign exchange risk management as revenues and expenses fluctuate between currencies. Profits earned abroad must be repatriated in accordance with each jurisdiction's tax codes, necessitating sophisticated structuring to maximize liquidity while avoiding prohibitive tax liabilities. Financial analysts examine scenarios to weigh the costs of offshore financing against the potential benefits, keeping track of interest rate differentials and sovereign credit ratings. Furthermore, credit facilities and debt instruments that were previously denominated solely in US dollars will be supplemented by euro-, pound-, yen-, or renminbi-denominated bonds, indicating a rebalanced capital strategy appropriate for a truly multinational enterprise. In addition to logistical and financial complexities, the relocation presents profound cultural and social challenges that cannot be ignored. Amazon's workforce, renowned for its diversity, will be tested by the demands of adapting to new environments, languages, and workplace customs. For many employees, moving abroad represents an opportunity to broaden their horizons and build international careers. But it also requires grappling with unfamiliar legal systems, immigration processes, and day-to-day living adjustments. Human resources teams have launched comprehensive onboarding programs that include not only technical training but also cultural sensitivity workshops designed to ease the transition. These programs emphasize understanding local customs, workplace norms, and communication styles, as well as navigating local bureaucracies, such as securing residency permits and enrolling family members in schooling systems. Moreover, the decision to relocate brings into focus questions of identity and belonging among Amazon staff. What does it mean to be an Amazonian when the physical headquarters is no longer anchored